Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Art and Soul with Michelle. Today I thought I would give you a run through of the pages that I've finished in my colouring books and some works in progress. Just basically a run through from everything I've done right from the start to now. It's not actually that much, but it'll give you an idea of where I'm at and also of how far just practicing can take you and taking time to learn a new medium. Coloured pencils for me was a totally new experience. I'd never used them before. So yeah, here we go. So the first one is from a PDF printout from Bennett Kleins Epic. This is a reasonably recent piece. I'm not doing these in order, by the way. Or not really anyway. This is a grayscale image, which basically means that some of the image has already got shading in for you. I'm not sure about these. I'm not a big fan of being told where I have to shade things, but yeah, well, it is what it is. So yeah, cute little gnomes on a little chapel-y thing. It's a bit run down and a bit cute and has wings and is Bennett Klein's usual slightly surreal images. I will put links to all of these colouring books and where you can buy all of these things in the description box below, so you can check them out if you so fancy. It's absolutely throwing it down outside. The heat wave has broken, and on bringing stuff out to the studio, there's a couple of splashes of water got on here and made the ink run, which is a bit pants, but that's how Britain rules. So next, this is a page from Mollie Harrison's Enchanted Seas, Enchanted Oceans PDF. I get these from Etsy or direct from the artist's websites. Again, this was another grayscale image. Took about half an hour to colour. I think I used Polychromos coloured pencils on this, Faber-Castell. Yeah, it was fun to do, but again, I don't like to be told where I have to shade things, which is just the artist in me. So on to the colouring books. This one, anybody who's into colouring is going to know all about Johanna Basford and Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. So this was my first proper colouring book, and yeah, there's some hideous disasters in here. So much so that I've bought another copy now that I can actually colour things in properly, so that I can do nice colouring and have a nice keepsake heirloom type book. So this is now my practice book, which is just as well because it's fallen to pieces. So yeah, this was the first page I'd done. You can see I broke the spine on it to get the pages flat, and now it's fallen apart. This started out as just a colouring page done with a few Prismacolors and some Derwent Colour Soft. The Prismacolors I'd had for a long time and never used, and the Derwent Soft were very new to me. I hated the background I'd done, it didn't work, so I went over it with some Inktense and some gold Gansai Tambi paint and some black watercolour, and I still don't like it, but there you go. Yeah, you learn a lot about your pencils when they all end up in the spine of the book as well. This was the very first piece I coloured, I think, just the book plate, which was really daunting, I have to say, for such a little piece. So I've kind of done this book in order, but what I did was, because I started this when I was in hospital and it was easier to have it on my knee, I did all the right hand pages first and then came back and did all the left hand pages when I got home. So this page was next. with again with polychromos, Prismacolor pencils. This was done with Prismacolors and Derwent Colour Soft, and a bit of soft pastel in there as well, I think. And I was trying to learn to shade and blend, and it's just dreadful. I hate that page, but there you go. What artist actually likes the work? This is a bit better, I think. Did this page first, then came back, did this one. So again with Colour Soft and Prismas. This page drove me nuts. I really hate it. I wish I hadn't done the red background because everything's just lost in it. And you can really tell that I did it in two halves. I did this one first and then came back and did this later and couldn't remember what pencils I'd used, what colours, and I gave up. So yeah, I will do a better job in the next book. Again, Prismacolors and Colour Soft. The butterfly, and I went back and went over that with the Gansai Tambi gold. I think that's, I'm not sure which colour gold out of it is, and then came back and did this with some Prismas. Yeah, again with Prismacolors and Derwent Soft, and a little bit of white gel pen, which is the first time I used that in there. This is done with Prismacolors. This was an out and out disaster. The colouring part itself was kind of okay, and then I tried to do the background with soft pastels and made total pig's ear of it. Cheap pastels, no idea what I was doing, despite having been a pastel artist for many years. They weren't my usual unison pastels and they were cheap. So I need to learn how to use those a little bit better before I attempt that again. So yeah, that page is a total disaster, and that really affected how I felt about the whole book, and which is why I've bought another copy. So this was where it started to get a little bit better, I think. All done with Prismas, although some of them seem to have rubbed off on the page for some reason. Don't know why that is. Is that something you find in your colouring books, that the colour from your coloured pencils rubs off on the other page? Leave me a bit in the comments below if you have any issues with that. This page is nearly fallen out, and again, colours rubbing off. It's these purples. I'm really sorry if you can hear the rain and the wind blowing in here, if it's distracting you. I'm in my shed, which is my studio, and yeah, it's cold and rattly, and I've got the heating on, would you believe, after that heat wave. Next, this is all done with Derwent Inktense pencils and a little bit of silver gel pen. That was more of an experiment just to see how well Inktense worked in that book, and it hasn't bled through at all, and it hasn't wrinkled when I've put the water on, so I was really pleased with how the pencil went on, even though I don't like how I've coloured it. I do like how I coloured this one. This was from inspired by a page by Petter Hewitt from La Artistino, who did this colour palette on one of Joanna Basford's books, which I really liked, and it was interesting to just use a limited palette. So yeah, I enjoyed doing that one. That was a lot of fun. The sweet peas, again, this was getting better, and I think this was, oh yeah, the flowers were done with Prismacolors and the leaves were done with some polychromos. I bought a set of 8 open stock Polychromos to try them out because everyone was raving about them, and I thought, what is it about these pencils that I need to have? So I tried that and struggled with them after having used Prismacolors because they are totally different. But I stuck with that one and asked on one of the Facebook groups I'm in for some advice about using Polychromos, and got loads of great feedback. So this page is all just Polychromos, totally. Took me days to do, and each one of these flowers is probably 7 or 8 layers of pencil on each flower, and yeah, I really got to grips with that, and I love the finish on it. I don't know whether you can see, but it's nice and shiny, and that's just from the pencil pressure. There's no blending tools used in that at all. So, and it is falling apart. So, oh no, we have got some. I don't know why I haven't done that one. Anyway, this one, finally I'm getting somewhere. Really like these 2 pages, and when I've finished playing in this book I might actually take these out and frame them because I think they're quite pretty. All done with Polychromos again, and some gold paint, so dawn and dusk on those images, and I think that's it for that book. So that's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly and some serious colouring disasters. So on to Lost Ocean. I think I only have one piece in here that I've done, and that was this crab mandala, and this was all done using Polychromos, so I was really quite pleased with that. I think that's the only one I've done. Oh yeah, and I put my name in there. The name. Oh no, and I did the title page as well. This was done in Faber-Castell Polychromos and gel pens, so that was fun to do. So onwards and upwards. Next is Magical Jungle by Joanna Basford. I've got all of her books, so yeah, I'll get those out of the way first. So first off was the hummingbirds, and these were inspired by a speed colouring by Chris Cheng. Quite a few in this book are. I think I've done a few in this book and Enchanted Forest in her style. Really sort of getting to grips with what I'm doing in there. So I think the next one is, yeah, another Chris Cheng inspired piece. Lots of layers in this, all done with Polychromos again, and learning to create depth and shadows, and I think there's probably about 8 or 9 layers in the middle of here. And I'm going to sneeze in a second, guys, so sorry about that, because I don't do dainty sneezes. Excuse me. Next is the toucans. This is a removable page. It needs a bit of tidy up around the edges. Another Chris Cheng, and I actually followed along with her speed colouring of this, which taught me so much about blending and layering, and it's something I really recommend is following along with an artist who's a colourist whose work you really like, and just giving it a bash. Enchanted Forest. Yes, there are some disasters in this too. Oh my goodness, I am bearing my soul to you, because never do I show my disasters when I'm drawing. So this is the title page to Enchanted Forest. This was done with Prismacolors, and a fairly limited palette. So that was the start of that. This is the title page, and this was all done with fine liners and gel pens. I don't know whether you can see the sparkly bits in there. Just, yep. Again, I'm sort of doing this in order, and again, this has sparkly bits. Can you see that? Sort of, just the border on that one. This is a work in progress. Oh my goodness, guys, this absolutely is appalling. I did this with fine liners and hated it, and tried to fix it with pencils and hated that, and eventually I'll find a way to fix it. Might be watercolour, I'm not sure, but it's awful. So yeah, let's just hurry past that. And the same with this one, which is gel pens in a bit of a Disney type castle, and I really hate it. And I need to fix that too. So let's just scoot past that one. Oh, I like this one though. This was the little hedgehog. All done in autumn colours, and I did no background on this other than the shadow at its feet. So yeah, I quite like that one. And this is a work in progress, and before I even got going I made a pig's ear, because this is supposed to be a moon and this is the sky, and I coloured it the wrong way around, so I'm having to put a moon in and then yeah, swap around in that a bit. So I'll come back to that eventually, I'm sure. So yeah, Secret Garden, Joanna Basford. Again, I put my name in the front, and this is the only thing I've done in that as a start on this double page spread. And I did start it, and I looked at it and I thought, oh gosh, that's so daunting. So I put it away again. So yeah, I will come back to that. Maybe now that it's thrown it down outside, I'll get that done. This was an early colouring book, and I've only done 2 pieces in this. I thought it was going to be a super duper book, and when it arrived I didn't really like it, but I was in hospital at the time. I had my markers with me, and since it's single-sided I gave my markers a go in this. So this is done with Le Mouche 168 count marker set, which I got from wish.com, I believe. Yeah, I really like them, and I really need to get into learning how to use markers a bit better. This is another one done with markers and a bit of coloured pencil in there as well. Not so chuffed with that one, but that's all I've done in that book. This one is Goddess and Mythology colouring book by Selena Fenech. Now, this book comes as twice this thickness, but you have 2 of each image, and the way she's laid the book out means that you've got a full set of images in the front, and then a page, a separator page after that, and another full set of images. So I halved this book and shared it with my daughter so that she could have something to colour too, because I'm an enabler and I do things like that. This is the only one I've coloured in that book. This is the Valkyrie. It's done in Prismacolors. Yeah, so that was a hospital day colouring in. Just something to take with me to do for the 6 hours I was stuck in there. Next is Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. These Swedish colouring books are gorgeous. They're hardcover and beautifully bound and just gorgeous. I really love them. It also makes them very daunting to colour in, I have to say. And I've only done 1 piece in here, which is this wreath, which I did in sort of autumny sort of shades, done in polychromos. So yeah, that's the only one I've done in there. The Time Garden is the next one by Daria Song. Now, I love these books. but I also hate them. There's loads of blank space in them, loads of patterns to colour, and yeah, this was done. What I did with it was, because I wanted to use markers and watercolour in it, I gessoed the pages first with clear gesso, and it was quite a rough gesso that I used, and it made a real mess of the book. So I need another copy of this too, so that I can go back and start again. So this, oh gosh, has got, you can see, gold paint on it. So this was originally done with marker pen, hated it, went over it with watercolour, still hate it. This is done with watercolour, not finished. This is done with watercolour, and the only bit I like about this is this window at the top. The watercolours that I've used on this are the Koh-i-Noor brand of watercolours, and the little round palettes. I'll be doing a review on those later. They are super pigmented. I absolutely love them. But when you work around the pieces you've already laid down, if you put another layer of watercolour around the outside and you touch it, it just bleeds, even if that layer's dry. So yeah, a bit of care needed with those. This is a work in progress of the doors. I'm a bit happier with that one. So this is watercolour and coloured pencil, and it's still rubbing off on the page because it has gesso on it. So I've got more to do there. So these are all gessoed pages, and they're all rough, and I have to sand them. I've since bought some better gesso. So next is Nice Little Town 4 by Tanya Bogema, who is, I believe, Slovakian? Might be wrong, might be Hungarian, we'll see. So these are super cute. I love colouring these. These are done with Faber-Castell Polychromos. And it's just Create Space paper. It's very thin, they're single-sided, so you can use markers on them if you want to. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. And this is another one that I've done. This needs to be blended, I think, just to give it a bit more depth. But they are really cute. I really like them. The little sort of bits on the side. And then I have a work in progress that I'm working on here, which I really like. So yeah, I need to finish that. Then I've got some really nice colouring books. These are some of my favourites. This is Romantic Country by Eiry. This is a lovely book. All of these images in here. This is the work in progress, double page spread. But the images in this book are drawn with a toothpick dipped in ink. So the lines are very soft and grey, and I'm not sure you can really tell that from the light in here. It's a bit rubbish. But yeah, that was a work in progress. And this is also a work in progress. And this is the first one I did in here, and it needs a bit more work. So, a lovely book though, and there's 3 in this series, so I may have to have the other 2. This is the Pop Manga colouring book by Camilla D'Erico. I love this book. Look at these images. I'm going to do a review of this in a bit. So, yeah. Really sort of sketchy manga style pieces. And that's the only one I've done in the book. And it's the first time that I've done skin tones. So I was quite pleased with how that turned out. And the blue hair, so yeah. Then this is another favourite book. This is Dromenvanger by Tomislav Tomic. also known as, oh gosh, Semlas Nova or something like that. This is the Danish version. I love the book, and this is the piece that I've done in that, which is a double page spread. It's almost finished. I've got the bird and the beasties to do in that, and that'll be done. And this is done with Polychromos, I think, or maybe I used both Prismas and Polys in this one. There's still some shading to do in here and what have you, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. This is a gorgeous book. I've done a flip through of this, and they're really detailed. Ooh, just lovely. And this is the latest colouring book, and one I have hankered after 4 ages. Menuet de Bonheur. I have no idea of the name of the author, the illustrator. It's Hungarian, Korean even book, I think. And all I've done in it is this title page, which I finished last night. But the images in this are gorgeous. I am so pleased with this suite. I know that sounds really silly, but I think it kind of looks, where am I? There. A bit kind of realish, maybe? So, yeah. Happy with that. So I'll be doing a review on this book. Loads of really cute things in here. Look at the little mice. Oh, it's just so sweet. So, yeah, lots and lots of colouring in that one. Will keep me happy for hours. Won't stop me buying more books, but there you go. So guys, that is as much as I have coloured up to now. That's about half my collection of colouring books. The rest I haven't touched yet. Because yeah, I have an addiction to this and it's a real problem. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that and seeing how far things have come from just sitting down and practicing and watching lots of other colourists and how talented they are and aspiring to do, you know, what they do. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you click on the little bell you can get notifications from when I upload new content. So for now, keep colouring, keep chilled, and I'll see you next time. Bye!